Hey guys, it's me, Ember. This video is about the fan tribes that I asked for in the short that is right here. And I appreciate the one that I did get in the comments from MoonlitDragonss. I got one for my friend Estuary'Enterprise, one for my friend Emmy, and then I created one in which you guys saw in the short, the Veilwings. But I did change their appearance a little bit. And in this video, it's primarily going to be about what the tribes are like. I'm going to show a picture of the continent and where they all live, and I'll tell you about the queens and the characters that I made for each tribe. Without further ado, let's see what the tribes look like. The first tribe is the Veilwings, created by me. They live in the northern tip of Pyron in the savannah within their 3 hives. Their leader, Queen Huntsman, is in charge of the central hive and handles any territorial disputes with the Tree Wings. Her youngest sister, Lady Orbweaver, is in charge of the western hive and prefers to handle any construction of new areas in the hives. And their middle sister, Lady Tarantula, is in charge of the southern hive and is responsible for the Veilwings army and the highest 8 guards, called the Queen's Eyes. Veilwings can spin silk from their wrists and shape it with the vestigial wings underneath their main pair to make webs and silk tapestries. They have thin spikes along their spine and long horns. They are different shades of brown, orange, and gray with red eyes, and 3 small red scales on the corner of their eyes. The character I'm making here is the current heir to the throne, Princess Widow. She hates royal customs because queens will often kill their mates after the heirs are born. Because of this, Widow has formed a close relationship with her aunt, Lady Tarantula, as they share the same views on this. Here is Widow's part in my story. One day at sunset, Widow and her aunt Lady Tarantula were flying to the coast to see the beautiful colors of the sky at sunset. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, they spotted a group of wasp-like dragons in the distance. Lady Tarantula went to investigate to see if they were lost and who they were, but she left Widow behind to keep her safe. As Lady Tarantula approached the dragons, she was attacked by a bigger dragon with yellowish-brown scales and black stripes. The new dragon extended stingers from their wrists and stabbed Lady Tarantula in the neck, causing her to fall unconscious. Widow soon fled to the southern hive to inform her uncle, Sir Recluse, about what she had just witnessed. Recluse ordered the 2 Queen Eyes at the southern hive report to Widow's mother, Queen Huntsman, and Recluse escorted Widow to her room in the southern hive to ensure her safety. Later, Widow was told she had to go back to the central hive to stay with her mother. Before she left, she found out that an unknown dragon had been spotted and captured in the southern hive. Widow used the dungeon key her aunt had made for her to creep down to meet this dragon. She found the dragon in the last cell in the dungeon, and its appearance was wild to Widow. The dragon had amber-colored scales with black splotches, and their wings were like those of a dragonfly. The dragon also wore glasses like her aunt, Lady Orbweaver, but this dragon's glasses were shaped like beehive cells. Widow said hello to the dragon and asked them what their name was. The dragon replied, Cricket. Cricket explained that she was a hiving from the continent of Pantala, north of Pyron. Widow talked with Cricket, learning that their ex-queen, Queen Wasp, had escaped, gathered a group of hivewings still loyal to her, and fled to Pyron. Cricket was tasked with following her, but she was captured by some guards, and that was how she ended up there. Cricket also told her about Pantala and another continent called Pyria that was full of dragons. They talked with each other about what they knew and anything they had in common. Widow told Cricket about her tribe and the other tribes on Pyron. This lasted until a guard came down and dragged Widow back to her room and stayed there until she had to go home. Because I don't want to reveal too much about the story just yet, here are some details about the Veilwings. Number 1. They're descendants of the Beetlewings. Beetlewings that didn't want to stay at Pantala because of the breath of evil decided to fly south to Pyron. Number 2. They're based on spiders, but they have no venom like rainwings, and they don't have any flame silks like silkwings. Number 3. Their hives were made of silk and tall trees. The trees are still alive and provide structural support. Number 4. Male Veilwings have a set of fangs to show off to their mates. Number 5. Female Veilwings will lay clutches of 5 to 9 eggs that will all be male or female based on the temperature they're kept at, much like crocodiles in the real world. That's all I really have, but I do want to talk a little bit more about this tribe. I did want to make their wings have a web pattern on them, but I decided that would be a little too hard. I decided on orange for a main color because I wanted this tribe to have a little bit more of a pop to it, instead of just having black, gray, and brown. The reason they have 4 smaller red scales by their eyes is to mimic real eyes, like with spiders. I do like how this tribe turned out overall. The design I made for them was based off a hybrid of a rainwing and a sea wing, but I just adapted some of it to fit the Veilwing's design in my head. And the design, I hope you guys really like it because it looks really good. I know there's some things I wish I could change, like, I don't know, I wish their tail had more spikes on the bottom of it, and I wish I actually made the silk glands a little bit more visible on their wrists. And I wish I did something different, but one more thing I just can't put my finger on that's about them that's bugging me. But overall, the tribe wasn't that bad. I liked how I made them have 3 main queens, 2 ladies, and 1 queen. But it wasn't that bad. I actually really liked them. I took a little inspo from the Hive Wings, but it was only loosely based, not really that much. I hope you guys like this tribe, and I hope you guys really like the other tribes that were created by MoonlitDragonss, my friend Estuary'Enterprise, and my third friend that will remain unnamed. And I am done. Holy, that took forever. Here is some art of Widow with a background and without a background. I really like how I made Widow, and I hope you guys like the next tribe that was created by a creator called MoonlitDragonss, which I really think you should go support them. But here's their tribe called the Tree Wings. I hope they like how I made them. The second tribe is called the Tree Wings, created by MoonlitDragonss. They live in the claw of the continent that consists of a dense forest. Their palace is primarily home to the royal family and only a few other dragons that are allowed in. Their queen is Queen Elm, and she's the oldest queen of all the tribes in Pyron. Tree wings can become plants and animals that aren't dragons by way of a pendant that is worn on their necklace by all dragons of the tribe that contains the blood or sap of the animal or plant they want to transform into. They're usually smaller than the other tribes, and they can be any color but are primarily green and brown. The character I'm making for the Tree Wings is named Autumn, and she is a guard of the Tree Wing Palace. She had been sold to the royal family by her biological family when she was just a dragonette and had been raised to protect the royal family. She was taught to never lie or disobey a royal order. Here's her part in the story. The sun rose over the tree canopy as Autumn chased down the dragon running through the trees. This mysterious dragon had appeared in the kingdom 2 days ago and needed to be captured. She soon came up with a plan. She would set a trap for the dragon near a lake at her current location. Autumn set up a net and waited for the dragon to walk past. When the dragon walked past, she pulled the rope and trapped the dragon. But as she pulled the rope, the dragon unhinged its jaw and spat a liquid from its fangs that melted a hole in the net. Autumn was upset. The dragon had escaped again. Later, Autumn decided to follow the dragon as a toucan. She grabbed a toucan, extracted a drop of its blood, and transformed. She flew to the dragon's location and followed it. The dragon led her to 3 other dragons that looked to be of the same tribe. The main one was a deep emerald green with red-orange wings. The bigger one was a bright pink with red-yellow wings. And the last one was pink and yellow with purple wings. Autumn flew down and transformed back to her original form, startling the dragons. The green one bared their fangs to attack Autumn, but she said she meant no harm. She explained that she was a royal guard and they had been causing trouble in the Treewing Kingdom, and she was told to capture them. The yellow dragon walked over and told her that they were from a land called Pyria, and they were of the tribe called Rainwings. The yellow one told Autumn her name was Kinkachu, the pink one was Jambu, and the green one was Queen Glory of the Rainwings. Autumn listened to them as they explained that an evil queen, Queen Wasp of the Hive Wings, had escaped from prison and fled to Pyron. They were there to try and find her before it was too late. Queen Glory asked Autumn if they could remain in the forest to try and find Wasp. Autumn said she could not let them stay in the forest, but told them they could stay in a village called Freedom, so they could be out of the Treeman Kingdom, but still be able to find Wasp. Autumn also told them of a dragon that had been captured by the Veilwings, and said they could go to the Southern Hive to see them. On the way back, Autumn could not face the royal family because she had disobeyed the order to capture the dragon. And that's it. That's all I have for the tree wings. I did like how MoonlitDragonss created them. I did change them a little bit, but I hope the changes were okay. And here's some art of Autumn with a background and then without a background. I hope you guys like the next tribe created by my friend Emmy. They're called the Swiftwings. The third tribe is called the Swiftwings, created by my friend Emmy. They live in the tail region of Pyron within the tall mountains, and their palace is home to all the tribe. It functions similar to ant nests to allow the survival of the whole tribe in the high altitudes. Their queen is Queen Songbird, the kindest and smartest queen of all the tribes. The Swiftwings are small and fast, so they fly like hummingbirds. They can be green, tan, or brown, but males have a crest of bright yellow feathers. Some individuals are able to fly at extreme high speeds. These individuals are called speed scales. The character I'm making for this tribe is Hummingbird. He is a speed scale and is treated like a member of the royal family, but he dislikes this treatment because he only wants to live a normal life with his sisters after they were orphaned after their parents died in a brutal storm. Here's Hummingbird's part in my story. Hummingbird was in a rush to get home after school, but his classmates would not let him. Many of them wanted to hang out with him, and many females wanted to ask him out. Hummingbird used his speed to escape and eventually got home to his sisters, Sparrow and Chickadee. They both asked him how his day was as they played with the dolls they made for themselves. Hummingbird was glad to see his sisters happy despite their situation. Soon there was a knock on the door. When Hummingbird opened the door, there stood Queen Songbird and King Peacock. The king and queen entered and told Hummingbird that he was to leave with the other speed skills to go to the Veilwing Kingdom to talk with Queen Huntsman and her sister about the dragons that had been spotted flying from unknown lands. Hummingbird tried to refuse, stating that he had to take care of his sisters. Queen Songbird said that they would be cared for by the royal family until he came back. And with this, Hummingbird agreed to go. Hummingbird and the 9 other speed scales prepared to fly northeast to the Veilwing Kingdom. After a day of flight, a typhoon hit the speed scales. The others managed to get cover, but Hummingbird was not so lucky as he was dragged into the storm. When he awoke, he found his body sore and his eyes were blinded by the bright sun above. He looked around only to see that he was not on Pyron anymore. He was in a desert, not the savannah of the Veilwing Kingdom. As he rose to his feet and began to fly around to see where he was grabbed by a larger dragon. The dragon had dark tan scales and black markings with black eyes, and at the end of their tail sat a scorpion-like stinger. Hummingbird tried to escape the dragon's claws, but his efforts were in vain, as the dragon flew with him until they reached a stronghold. Hummingbird was soon taken to a room where another similar dragon sat amidst a pile of scrolls. The first dragon stated that he had captured Hummingbird on the shores of the kingdom. The other dragon ordered to place Hummingbird down, as the other dragon came to investigate. The dragon asked who Hummingbird was. He said his name is Hummingbird and that he was of the Swiftwing tribe, and asked who they were. The dragon replied that she was Queen Thorn of the Sandwings, and the other dragon was Smolder. And that's it for the Swiftwings. I'm really grateful to my friend Emmy for letting me use her fan-made tribe. And here's some art of Hummingbird, with a background and without a background. And now we move on to the next tribe created by Estuary'Enterprise called the Serpent Wings. The last tribe is the Serpent Wings, created by my friend Estuary'Enterprise. They live on the wing of Pyron in a cherry grove surrounded by a long mountain range. Their queen is Queen Long, who is the most secretive queen, not allowing any other tribe into the Serpent Wing Kingdom. The Serpent Wings are wingless with long whiskers and horns, with flowing fins along their spine. They are primarily red, azure, blue, green, and yellow. They are capable of completely turning invisible to avoid detection from others. The Serpent Wing here is Fiveclaw. He is the prince of his tribe, but is constantly overshadowed by his older sister who is next to rule. He tries his hardest to be noticed by his tribe and his parents. The only dragon that had taken notice in his talents was his grandmother, Cloudgaze, but she had died when Fiveclaw was only 6 years old. Here's Fiveclaw's part in my story. Fiveclaw returned home to the Serpent Wing Palace and went right to his room to draw. Today he wanted to draw another landscape. He had done a savanna and a cherry grove, but this time he wanted to do a mountain scene. As he grabbed his paintbrush and began to paint, he noticed something outside his window. There were 3 butterfly-like dragons in the distance. One was a light blue with deep indigo, another was a light green with teal, and the last was deep blue dappled with orange splotches. Fiveclaw leapt from his window to observe these dragons. As he watched them fly over the mountain, he noticed that the blue indigo one had a small black and yellow dragon in a sling. Wanting to know who these dragons were, he began to pursue them past the cherry grove and over the mountain peak. They had almost reached Waterhole Lake when the deep blue dragon looked back and signaled for the others to follow them. Before Five Claw reacted, he saw the light green one extend their front legs, and from their wrists came a thread of fire. The sight made Five Claw pause until he realized that he had been spotted. Five Claw tried to run, but the threads of fire blocked his escape. Looking back, the dragons landed and stared at Five Claw. Soon, the blue one with the small dragon came over and said that they meant no harm and would not hurt him. Five Claw asked who they were. The dragons told him their names. The blue one was named Blue, the teal one was Luna, and the deep blue one was Swordtail, and the tiny dragonette was Bumblebee. Five Claw told them his name and asked why they were there. Luna said they were looking for a highwing named Cricket that had been sent to Pyron a few days ago. Five Claw said he had not heard of a dragon named Cricket in his kingdom, but he heard that the dragon had been captured in the southern Veilwing Hive. Blue thanked Five Claw and asked him to show him the way. Looking back in the direction of the Serpentwing Palace, Five Claw agreed. What did he have to lose? And this is the last of the tribe, the Serpentwings. Here's some art of Five Claw with a background and without a background. I want to thank everyone who gave me a fan-made tribe, especially MoonlitDragonss, a small content creator. I think you should go support them, and my friend Estuary'Enterprise. And then here's a little size comparison of all the tribes going from biggest to smallest. And then here's one with all of them from Pyria and Pantala and now Pyron. I want to thank you guys for watching and see you soon. Bye.